Back to Hannity, and here is more of my interview with the one and only Donald Trump from earlier today. Let me go back to solutions and details.
Okay.
Your critics say you haven't given any. You're giving them today.
Well, I'm giving a lot.
93 million Americans now out of the labor force.
Right.
57 million of those are women. 46 million Americans are on food stamps. 50 million Americans are in poverty. Staggering numbers.
It's amazing.
When you think
and then you hear there's a 5.4% unemployment.
Okay.
It's not 5.4.
It's a lie.
It's really, if you add it up, it's probably 40% if you really think about it.
It's high, and it's only Washington math that gives you that number.
It's phony math.
Here's my question. So when you think about your economic plan and you think of those statistics, what are the top three things that come to your mind specifically that you can do to help the 93 million, the 57 million American, the 50 million in poverty?
Sure. I love the question because this is my strength.
Right.
You know, a competitor of yours did a big poll. I won't say it was CNN, okay, because I want.
Yeah,
but they did a big poll, okay? And the poll came out.
By the way, trying to to monitor what you're going to say,
right.
It's a futile attempt. Go right ahead.
Okay. I refuse to say it was CNN. but they did this poll, and it was a very comprehensive poll. And they had me number one in leadership by far. And the other thing I was really number one on was anything having to do with the economy, okay? Jobs, et cetera, et cetera. I was so high up. I mean, the other people, there was like no number two practically. We have to bring our jobs back from China. As an example, we have to bring manufacturing back. You look at Japan with the boats that come in, pouring in with cars. You know what we send Japan? We send them beef. We send them wheat.
What about American cars?
Corn. Okay? I want American cars. I don't mind. If Japanese companies build here, that's fine. But you know what? I don't want to see boats pulling into Los Angeles, because I saw boats the other day that were the biggest boats I've ever seen, loaded up. You wouldn't even believe the thing could float. So many cars. And then you see these cars just boom, boom. They're not made here. How is it helping us? I don't want cars made in Mexico. I love Mexico. I love the Mexican people. I have so many Mexicans working for me now. And by the way, buying apartments and doing everything else. I have a great relationship with Mexico. People are just starting to find out. And by the way, in Nevada, as you heard, they just did a poll. I was number one in the poll with Hispanics. I was number one with Hispanics. Anyway, but that doesn't help us from the standpoint that their leaders are so much sharper. And I use the word cunning. They're more cunning than our leaders.
What is the tariff on an American car?
Well, they make cars in Mexico. They just send them across the border. How does it help us? I went to the Wharton School of Finance. Tell me, how does it help us? It doesn't help us at all.
Were you really number one in your class?
I was a good student.
Yeah.
I was a very good student. People are shocked by that, but I was actually a very good student.
Let me go back to let me ask you one question before we get back to specifics. Some conservatives are suspect about your conservatism. They say, all right, well, you once supported, you gave money to Clinton, you went to Clinton's wedding, or she came to your wedding. You once supported a single payer. You wanted a one-time tax on the wealthy. To those that doubt your conservatism, explain the transition. How did you grow into a conservative?
Okay, I mean, it's sort of easy to explain. Now, one of the things I always start with, Ronald Reagan was a Democrat, and he was sort of liberal. And I knew him. I didn't know him then quite, but I knew him. And I knew him well. He liked me. I liked him. He was like this great guy. And he was a Democrat with a liberal bent. And he became a great conservative, in my opinion.
Sure. One of the greatest presidents.
By the way, and a great president, and a great leader, he had something very special. But if you think of it, he was a little bit less conservative, actually, than people think.
When he was a governor, sure.
He had a great heart. And I have a great heart. That's why I'm talking about, when we mentioned Planned Parenthood, there are some positives, et cetera, et cetera. We've got to take care of our women. We've got to take care of our people. But if you look at some of the things I said at the time, that was many, many years ago, I wouldn't have minded taking a piece of my wealth and paying off the national debt. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Now we can't do it. It's so humongous. It's so. At that time, we could have paid off the entire national debt, and we could have started the game all even.
With a balanced budget amendment to support it.
Absolutely, and that's what I said. And I wouldn't have minded doing that, John. And I took some heat. People say, oh, what a terrible thing. That's not a very conservative thing to do. I think it's a very conservative thing.
Would you still support it?
I would take. The problem is we owe so much now. I mean,
it's impossible.
It's more money than all the wealthy
Wouldn't it hurt
guys.
the economy because they spend less on business?
I think we got to get rid of we have a problem.
Yeah, I want to get to that in a minute.
And the problem is the 19 trillion, because I was saying 18, but now it's really 19.
It's going to be 20.
And very soon, the next time you interview me, it's going to be 21, 22, 24. It's out of control, and nobody's doing anything about it. And honestly, with trade, with smart deals, Carl Icahn is a friend of mine. He's a great businessman. I spoke to Carl. Carl would love, I mean, you could call him. You should have him on your show sometime. A very, very smart guy, brilliant guy. He wants to help. He said, Donald, if you're involved, I want to help you. I said, Carl, you take China and Japan. Guess what? If I put him in charge of, and Wall Street,
yes?
He said yes. He'll do whatever I want. He's a patriot. He loves the country, and you know what? He's made a lot of money. He's done great stuff. He would love to do this. Me too. I love what I'm doing outside of this. And actually, I'm enjoying this more than I thought, to be honest. It helps with all these polls coming.
You're liking all this?
I don't know if I'd like it if I was down to 2%. But Carl Icahn is a great businessman. He would love to be able to help.